Oh no, not the death blow. Yes, it appears that mediocre swimmer Leah Thomas, who previously was ranked somewhere around 400th in the world, and then suspiciously, I don't know how, suddenly was winning events, competing against biological women. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a biologist. I don't know how someone who was biologically a male for their entire life suddenly competing against biological females would have any advantage whatsoever. Well, this individual has also been quietly behind the scenes trying to force their way into the Olympics. Now, my opinion, obviously, on people is to, in particular, in this particular scenario, is it's still live and let live. You can, nobody is preventing you from identifying as a woman and still swimming. By the way, being able to swim is not a human right. Certainly, being able to compete against other biological women is not a human right. So it's about forcing themselves into women's spaces, in my opinion. It's about making women uncomfortable, in my opinion. It is my opinion that these individuals get off on making women feel uncomfortable. They get off, in my opinion, on taking awards away from women. Of course, that's just my opinion. If you agree with my opinion, make sure you leave a like on this video. Well, they have been suing for the past, I don't know how many months, to force their way into the Olympics. And now they've finally been banned from the Olympics. They have been denied. Biological male swimmer Leah Thomas demanded that they be allowed to compete against women in the Olympics and has been dealt a fatal blow after losing a crucial lawsuit. Think about all the money that was wasted. Think about all the weirdo activist dollars that poured in to create this lawsuit, to force themselves upon women, to make women feel uncomfortable. All of the money that was poured into this, that is out the window. You absolutely love to see it. Thomas, 25, had asked the Court of Arbitration for Sport to overturn a ban on biological males competing against biological females in hopes of racing in the Olympics, because that's the only way that Leah Thomas would ever get into the Olympics, is by forcing their way in there. Leah first rose to prominence after becoming the first trans athlete to, quote, win an NCAA college title in 2022. Again, a biological male competing against biological females, okay? The world is healing, everybody. Of course, had since been banned from competing against biological women in international events following a change in regulations. World Aquatics changed its policies so that trans women can only compete in women's races if they have completed their transition by the age of 12. Okay, I still don't agree with it, but okay, at least it's probably less of a gigantic physical advantage, although I still would argue you still benefited from testosterone in your system for 12 years, and it's never completely removed from your system in general, so you're still benefiting from it in a wide variety of ways. Thomas argued that those rules should be declared invalid and unlawful, and broke the Olympic Charter with the World Aquatics Convention. In the decision handed down in Court of Arbitration for Support, they concluded that Thomas was not entitled to engage with eligibility to compete in World Athletic competitions. World Aquatics welcomed the news, hailing it as a major step forward in our efforts to protect women's sports. I mean, can I get an amen? I mean, the whole reason they're nobody until 2018, 2019, nobody would have ever presented as fact that biological men should have no advantage over biological women in feats of strength. Then a very small but loud and well-funded group of people presented just that and stole, in my opinion, competitive positions from biological women, and stole, in my opinion, scholarship opportunities from biological women, and stole, in my opinion, spots on teams, sponsorship money, opportunities from women. And again, in my opinion, they got off on that. Because if you're just a trans individual, in my opinion, trying to live out your life, okay, You wouldn't be forcing yourself on other people. You wouldn't be forcing yourself into their spaces. You wouldn't be going into Planet Fitness and saying, I absolutely positively have to be in the locker room with women. You would just go work out and shower like anyone else. All right? That's just how how a regular person acts. The group told the outlet, World Aquatics is dedicated to fostering an environment that promotes fairness, respect, and equal opportunities for athletes of all genders. And we reaffirm this pledge. And there is nothing stopping Leah Thomas from competing in swimming competitions. Nothing. Leah Thomas can compete in their biological category in which they were assigned. Nobody's stopping that. Nobody. If Leah Thomas wants to wear a bikini top while they do it, or a one-piece swimsuit, literally nobody is stopping that. So this whole idea that it's some sort of human right or that it's this, it's just nonsense. They introduced their new rules after Thomas beat an Olympic silver medalist Emma Wyant by a full 2 seconds to win the NCAA gold. In a scientific document backing their ban on anyone who has undergone part of male puberty, World Aquatics said swimmers like Thomas retain significant physical advantages. They said that such advantages include endurance, power, speed, strength, and lung size, even after reducing their testosterone levels through medication. Of course that's true. Nobody who wasn't a complete ideological moron disagreed with that. People that, the follow the science people, those people were the ones that were saying that they were somehow different or that it wasn't an advantage when it very clearly was an advantage. That's how you go from ranked 470th in the world to number 1. On Wednesday, the court ruled that Thomas had no standing to sue the transgender policy. The debate over transgender athletes' participation in elite intensified when Thomas became the first NCAA champion in Division I history. Thomas was representing the University of Pennsylvania, won the women's 500-yard freestyle in 2022, months before the World Aquatics ban. 3 United States female Olympic silver medalists were beaten by Thomas in the final, meaning Leah Thomas, a biological man, took the gold medal away from. Dang, that's a 99%, 98% awesome photo. Now, Thomas swam for the Pennsylvania men's team for 3 seasons before starting hormone replacement therapy in 2019. So Leah Thomas was a fully grown, fully developed biological man before they tried to just make their numbers change and say that they were a woman. So for 19 years on this planet, Leah Thomas had the benefit of testosterone. Thomas swam for the Pennsylvania men's team for 3 seasons before deciding that suddenly they wanted to swim for the female team. That led to claims that going through male puberty lent a considerable advantage over female rivals by letting Leah Thomas develop bigger muscles. Well, that's not a claim, that's a fact. 3 months after the win, World Aquatics implemented a ban on transgender women. U.S. Swimming at the team had already introduced strict trans regulations in March 2022, which critics said stopped short of a ban. Thomas reportedly went to CAS court in September before World Aquatics applied to have the case dismissed before they had not submitted herself to the jurisdiction of USA Swimming. So they tried to go to Canada they tried to skirt the U.S. rules because Title 19 exists in the United States and Canada's more woke. In January 2023, World Athletics announced that they wanted to tighten their policy, but said their preferred option was to reduce testosterone to levels. Why are we even measuring it? If you're a biological man, you swim against biological men. If you're biological women, you swim against biological women. I would even be open to them adding a 3rd category for all participants. Right? The best men and the best women could compete in that category if they wanted. Now, you choose that over your preferred category or your assigned category. But if you want to swim, you think I'm best. If gender doesn't matter, then Leah Thomas can get in the pool and swim against the best men who want to compete in that same category. I wonder how they do. I'm guessing ranked somewhere around 400th. I mean, Leah Thomas single-handedly made Riley Gaines' career. You know, this is an absolute W. Getting completely humiliated in court. Absolute W. The world is healing. Congratulations. I don't know why women had to fight again for their sport after we already had Title 19 in place to protect them. But I'm glad this was a win. I'm glad that this Leah Thomas individual was humiliated yet again. Go swim, compete, have fun. But you don't get to do so against biological women. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it. We'll talk to you again real soon.